Hi, everybody. Kind of a rock and roll, unexpected by me anyway, Sunday morning. And that's when I'm coming to you with this update. Meteorologist Rod Hill from the Portland, Vancouver metro area. These are screen grabs taken. The radar was 7:55. And I will tell you on the left, there is in fact lightning detected in these brighter, heavier rain cells that are extending from near Salem up through McMinnville and actually all the way up into Astoria. And all this is pushing up to the north. Now, we have been talking about the driving factor, which is this upper level low. The main low is offshore. It is responsible or will be responsible for setting up a good solid week or more of a cooler pattern that will hold temperatures most days in the low to mid 80s, it looks like, instead of 90s. So that's great. But see this, it doesn't look like much, but see, you see the cloud cluster. This is earlier this morning across right here in northwestern Oregon up through the Long Beach Peninsula. And you see where there's a little dip right here. There's a little upper level disturbance right here where my cursor is, and it has been enough to fire up thunderstorms and showers in our area. Now, the last time we saw any measurable rainfall, technically was zero point zero 0.02 and zero point zero 0.01 out at PDX on June 26th, June 27th. The last time it really rained was all the way back on the 15th day of June, meaning we had somewhat of a decent soaking rain at that time. So a lot going on. Let me just give a quick shout out to the Momentous Wealth podcast. I know they just released, I think back on Friday, a brand new podcast. It's a library collection of investing topics. I've listened to several of them. I'm going to listen coming up this week to the new one. This is brought to you again by the Momentous Wealth Podcast, a local firm by Todd Pisarcik's team. Listen on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. Okay. All right. Let's get you back to what's going on what's turning out to be a busy Sunday morning. So here's the updated radar. It hasn't changed much. This cluster of storms right here on the left, everything's moving to the north and kind of curling back to the northeast. Remember, there's that low offshore. So the rotation brings it up north, and then curls it back to the northwest, back toward the Pacific. I misspoke. And there you can see it on the larger radar. There's actually showers being picked up over in Madras and Central Oregon. So any rain, of course, is fantastic news overall. And if I just scroll down, right here, we see those bright crosses. That's the lightning detected. So absolutely, we have thunderstorms in the area at this time. And then here was that upper level disturbance earlier last night. And then this little dip right here, this is what's zoomed in. Here's the upper level high, the heat dome, now over Nevada down into Arizona. And let me click that back. And here's that again. You can see the little upper level disturbance. There's a little little wind surge, and it's producing our thunderstorm threat. Now, here's what's interesting, and this is why this was not on the forecast days ago. I'm going to get to that. This is this morning. Notice the National Blended Weather Model shows rain offshore. That's close to the center of the upper low. That makes sense. And then in gray, it does show there's some clouds, at least a chance of a trace of moisture, but it does not pick up this morning what I just showed you on radar. And in fact, it keeps pretty much the west side of our state dry. This is through 5 o'clock this afternoon, except for a chance of showers and thunderstorms popping up across south central and southeastern Oregon. There's Bend and Redmond, so there's a late day storm chance coming that direction. And then as we play this into Monday, there's basically nothing until you get out across the far east. And there's a continued chance of spotty showers and thunderstorms in eastern Oregon on Monday. Now, so my point there is that the modeling is not really picking this up. It's not picking it up because when you make a weather model, it's basically an output of a mathematical input, right? So the mathematical input has pressure heights, and we've talked about this. When you get above a 576 millibar pressure height, you typically don't expect measurable rainfall. The only time you would get it, for the most part, is if you have a convective situation this time of the year, fire, and that's what's happened. So the modeling is basically no help in showing us a precip chance, but it is helpful in showing us the reason why. So let's track the reason why. This is this morning back at 5 a.m. And the bright colors, that's an upper level disturbance, what they call an area of positive vorticity. And then right through here, follow my cursor. This is the instability axis. And this is what is swinging up with the showers and thunderstorms ahead of the actual disturbance this morning. So now I see how the colors turn yellow. So this is weakening through the noon hour. And then here we are this afternoon at 5 p.m. Still some instability, but it's really weakened. This is why the forecast shows increasing sun this afternoon or partly cloudy skies, but there's still a little bit of instability. So there could be a spotty thunderstorm. So that's the track. Let me back this up. Again, clearly, this is the most active part of our day this morning. By the noon hour, here we are getting into noon. It's weakening. Chance of scattered showers expected to start fizzling and then eventually becoming completely gone later today, actually going into this evening. Here's the tomorrow morning. There's the upper level low, but that mainly stays offshore. So the rain threat was expected to stay offshore, but the cooler weather would be our impact. Getting a little bonus this morning, if you will. Now, I do want to show you, and this was the big story last time I talked to you, this same upper level low that's giving us a little rain this morning will be our player, our controlling player all week. And it absolutely will break what has been a hot weather pattern going all the way back to July 4th. So, that's good news. I think most of us agree. Certainly good news for firefighters. This is this morning. This green is this is an upper air mass temperature map of 5,000 feet. So here's the air mass in green. That's the cooler air around the low. That's what we're feeding off of. The red colors is the hot weather. It's going to be held just off to the east of our area. Somebody play this into this afternoon. See, cold upper level low, centered offshore, but the hot air being held off to our east. So we're getting just enough of a marine influence that's going to hold our temperatures down. Here we are tomorrow. This is the afternoon. Clearly, you can see the hot air now being pushed across eastern Oregon, Idaho, Montana. Clearly, we are coming off a northwesterly flow off this cooler air. So I'm going to show you the 7 day in a moment, but it basically shows anywhere from 80 to 84 degrees most days upcoming, which should be considered normal for this time of the year. Here's Tuesday. Let me just play this through. Here's Wednesday. Here's Thursday. Now, Thursday, notice the low is inland. And I will tell you, as this low and the cooler air pushes inland Thursday, I mean, there's at least something I'm watching for the chance of some more scattered showers and maybe a thunder shower developing PM hours Thursday into Friday morning. That's maybe a little instability surge, a little moisture surge as this system moves inland, but nothing that's really showing up in computer pops of rain chance, okay? But just notice this. Let me just grab the cursor at this point. Notice how we're cooler, we're cooler, we're cooler. This is all the way into August 1st. Yeah, here's August 1st. See, the hot air has moved all the way into the Colorado Rockies and the plains of the Dakotas down into Oklahoma and Kansas, Nebraska. We're clearly off of this cooler air mass. There are no more 90s in sight the rest of this month. There are no 90s in sight going all the way through the first 5 days of August. How about that? Hot air that's been settled out west all the way over the plains, Minnesota, Iowa. We're clearly feeding off the cooler colors. So we are done with the hot weather, at least for a couple of weeks and maybe longer. Wow. So with that said, let me just click on 72 this morning in Medford, 94 this afternoon. Still hot weather down south. They're going with the sun around 100 Tuesday, Wednesday, and still Thursday, 97. So be prepared if you're traveling down that direction. Bend, 73 this morning. Remember, Madras is showing some showers right now. There's a chance of a thunderstorm today, 96 degrees. Shows dry weather tomorrow. The little disturbance is gone tomorrow, and the upper level low is far enough offshore that if it doesn't kick out any more disturbances, we'll be dry. And then it's still warm over there, right? Remember that the hot weather shifted just to the east. This shows 97 over in Central Oregon on Wednesday. And then remember, it's Wednesday going into Thursday. Actually, going into Thursday, that upper level low moves inland. So there is the resurgence of the actual main cool push, dropping Central Oregon from the upper 90s to the upper 80s on Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. So yeah, this is all terrific news. Seattle is going to have some cooler weather. 83 clearing later today, 76 tomorrow. Look at that. 80 Wednesday, 76 Thursday, 77 Friday, 80 Saturday. Really comfortable week if you're going up to our neighboring city to the north. And then along the coast, Newport, chance of showers at the coast this morning. Basically 60s, mix of morning clouds and sunshine days expected. And let me, with that said, just go ahead and kick you to my 7 day forecast. So the thunderstorm threat this morning starts to wind down around the noon hour, if not before. And then it's a partly cloudy, spotty storm chance this afternoon. Still 80, 84. I think we're dry tomorrow, but morning clouds, afternoon sun. We could struggle to hit 80 tomorrow. Wouldn't that be something? And I feel like I am the warmest we could be, meaning maybe my 7 days actually too warm. I go 84, 85 from Tuesday all the way into Saturday. And if we have days where there's some morning clouds, which we may, we would be more like 80, 81. And if there's a chance of a shower that pops, remember Thursday when that low moves inland, then that could be cooler and Friday could be cooler. So that is your update on a Sunday morning with some rain and even thunderstorms in the area. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Thanks for subscribing. I'll talk to you soon.